I truly hope that Europride 2022 in Belgrade will give a new hope to the youth of the Balkans who have nobody to look up to. For them, gay success stories do not exist. For them,
This was the moment when it was announced that Belgrade had won the bid to host Europride 2022, an annual event celebrating the European LGBT+ community, the first of such events to be held in the Balkans. Months of bidding and hard work had paid off for Marko Mihailovic, one of the main organisers of Belgrade Pride, and his associates. This was the video released by Pride during the bidding in 2019, advertising 10 years of successful Pride and progress.
So this is the wall in the Pride Info Center where we show the history of the Pride, and you can see.
I spoke with Marko at Pride headquarters, located in the centre of the city, to ask about the significance of the win and about the history of Pride and what being a member of the LGBT+ community was like before.
When I was a kid, it was common, and you didn't have. It was very common to be shoved on the street and to be, degraded in public. Nowadays, it's not that common. We have more queer youth, and with social media, everything changed. You have exposure to something. When I was growing up, I had zero public personalities in Serbia that were out that were LGBT plus, zero. But still, equal representation is very low, and public debate is also very low. Public support for our community is very low, but the biggest problem is that understanding of our problems is, I think, practically non-existent.
It's been a long road to winning the Europride 2022 bid. The first Pride in 2001 ended in mass protest and violence, with nationalist and religious groups forming the main body of the anti-gay protests. The next Pride wouldn't be until almost a decade later, in 2010, where hundreds of police were sent to the streets in order to keep peace. Since then, Pride has been cancelled 3 times by the Serbian government due to the threat of further violence on the streets. As Marko told me, the relationship between Belgrade Pride and the government is sometimes a difficult one.
And we've received some silent support from the government, which is based on that they allow the Pride to happen, and they could easily ban it, even though it's unconstitutional, but so many things are here. We have zero legislation that helps us and that protects us. We do have an anti-discrimination law that's rarely being used, if ever. Hate crimes in our penal code has been used twice since 2013. So it's not really something that protects us or serves as a method of punishment.
The current government under President Alexander Vučić has come under criticism from the LGBT+ community across Europe for its lack of legislation when it comes to protecting gay rights. Andrea Vukalic, Serbian photojournalist, has covered previous prides and civil unrest within the capital. He spoke to me.
The state of the community as it is right now is quite, you have progress that's basically minimal. It's like 10 years ago, you had gay people being beaten up in the streets. Now you don't. That's the only progress we have. I mean, it is progress, but it isn't monumental, You don't have, you don't have gay marriage in Serbia. You don't have any concrete legislation would be turned down, because then people in Serbia would remember their homophobia.
One member of Vučic's government who has given her support to Europride is 12th Prime Minister Ana Brnabić, who was elected by Parliament in 2017, becoming Serbia's first openly gay and female Prime Minister. Brnabić attends Pride every year and has been vocal about pushing for social mobility within the country. Still, she's also seen by many as ineffective and not doing enough.
She's something that Vučić can show off to people from the West, basically to the European Union, and say, okay, but I have a gay prime minister. Which one of you have a gay prime minister? It's in that sense that he can say the country's becoming more liberal, it's becoming more European, it's becoming more open to change and open to human rights. But in the end, he doesn't do anything concrete. Neither does she. As long as she's there and she doesn't remind people that she's gay, they're okay with her.
So you're saying that tolerance towards the LGBT community is more a byproduct of the regime that, like, the regime allowing that kind of thing to happen rather than actually any social progress?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The Serbian government's stance on LGBT+ is shaped by pressure from the EU, making this Europride a chance for the community to pressurise the government and give publicity to the issues facing LGBT+ members in the Balkans. But not all see Europride as a positive. Vladimir is a cultural worker and drag performer in Belgrade and was one of the first drag acts working in the city. I spoke to him about Europride.
My drag practice, if I could call it like that, was absolutely almost never affiliated with any form of LGBTQ plus activism. What is Europride? You know, what are we celebrating? Are we celebrating the values imposed by the European Union, by the democracies which shattered into pieces? And I do not understand, neither do I agree with the very idea of Europride, because for me it's pure bollocks. You know, it's just something to make profit, more profit. You know, it's not about, you know, saving people's lives.
This is security footage from outside the Belgrade Pride building back in February. With so much hanging in the balance for Belgrade Europride 2022, along with the potential for violence, Europride represents hope for social mobility for the LGBT+ community within a turmoil political landscape.
Nobody's free until we're all free. And this continent should stand up for one another, and we should extend our support. Are we ready? We're fully ready. We're fully ready for Europride. We do Pride Week.
With people like Marco and others among his staff, there's a good chance that Belgrade will be ready for Europride 2022.